Calling from a 215 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Sam. It's Mindy. How are you?
I'm Mindy. How are you?
Good. Listen, I'm probably not going to like this call, but I'm at the point now where I'm, like, so disgusted with politics that, like, if we don't win the midterms, I'm just feeling like, and my friends are too, like we kind of, like, just want to check out until 2020 and, like, get back in because it's taking a toll on everyone. I mean, are you feeling this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no, I totally understand that. In fact, I had this conversation with someone last night that there's this sense of like, you want to check out. Like if you're going to do any, legitimate self-care in this context would be, don't follow this stuff and engage in it. But the problem is that it's not going to go away in that instance.
Right.
And there's no guarantee that it's going to go away if you stay engaged, but it's a little better odds than, say, like, winning the lottery. I mean, it needs people.
I don't know, like, I'm sorry, go.
Well, but I understand the desire, and I think, like, the idea of taking, a couple of weeks, is important. I mean, frankly, that's what I try to do to the extent that I have like obviously a higher tolerance for this stuff than most normal human beings. But I still am, arguably human. And so I think that if, frankly, if I was doing, 5 days a week, if there wasn't, a day where Michael did this and I'm still working, but I'm not like immersed, for half the day. I basically take a half a day off and I do more sort of administrative stuff. I think I would have gone nuts by now, to be honest with you.
Right. So past your show, like, so now I'm down to listening to your show. I guess I watch Rachel 4 to 5 times a week, depending. And once in a while I'll catch Nicole Wallace or Ari Melber. And past that, and sometimes I'll watch Chris Hayes. But other than that, I'm like streaming like 90 Day and Michael. But past that, I'm like streaming 90 Day Fiance and watching like old episodes of, I don't know, Breaking Bad. I mean,
That sounds great. Just don't stop with my show, obviously. But besides that, more TV.
Yeah, maybe you want to add the Antifada to the rotation.
I think there is value in, consuming less media and going out and expending that effort in something that is, like real world constructive for 2 reasons. One is you're necessarily going to be adding something. It may be, butterfly wings type of stuff. But I do think like, the social media stuff, it does have it's toxic, but it does influence, I think, reporters.
You're doing good work on social media, Mindy. That's the truth.
But I also think.
Wait, hold on. Can I say something about that today, Michael? Thank you.
Wait. Let me just finish, Mindy. Let me just finish.
Why are you saying that?
I think there is value in going out, finding a local group, even if it's not necessarily totally aligned with your politics, that it's close enough in this day and age, and expending physical energy on whatever they're doing, because it will have some impact, a positive impact, and B, there'll also be opportunities to do, to have some socializing involved, which is sort of like simultaneous self-care.
Let me tell you, I did some door knocking for Medicaid expansion in Idaho, my friend Luke's campaign, and it was nothing was more refreshing than that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to do my share. I contacted my congresswoman. I have, I wanted to do work for her. She hasn't called me back yet. My girlfriend did door knocking the other day and canvassing, and they didn't give her any information. Like they just said go, just go. But that was okay. And I'm trying to do a lot on social media as much as I can. I mean, like you said, Michael, I have 57,000 followers. I mean, I can tweet something and get like a lot of traction on it. So this morning I put on my Twitter account, like, I'm not going to tweet any more bullshit about Trump. I hate him, whatever. He's anti-Semitic. I mean, all of those things are done. They're said. There's nothing left to say. There's no other way to rephrase it. And I said this morning on Twitter, I said, listen, everybody just drop a candidate into my Twitter feed, and I will retweet them all day long for the next 8 days. Like, just do that. So, I mean, so maybe there's like 200 people retweeted or 300 people, but it could be the difference of making somebody vote. Like, somebody could just say it. I don't know. Or sometimes, you know, on the other hand, I think like we're kind of preaching to the choir.
Well, listen,
I don't know.
There's listen, first off, I will tell you this, that I think like, you know, going out and doing door knocking, even if it's inefficient, like I say, it could be annoying, could be worth a little bit, but at the very least, it's also, I think, like literally for self-care, it's a good thing to do, to sort of like localize this stuff enough so that, you know, you can, you're not in this sort of toxic stew. In terms of preaching to the choir, listen, I know you are, but I'm saying, you know, walking around, even if it's door knocking on some level, like, you know, makes it, you know, releases some of that tension. As far as preaching to the choir, it's not just that the choir votes. The choir is the ones who go do the door knocking. The choir is, you know, all the people who are feeling burnout, that's the choir. And so they need that preaching.
My girlfriend the other day, wait, you got to hear this. My girlfriend the other day went and she went and canvassed with her husband for Helen's High, the one I just said earlier. Her husband's black. And she went and door knocked, and 2 different people told her husband that he should not be knocking at doors because it's a toxic environment right now. I mean, she lives in the community. I mean, Democrats were telling her husband that he should get off the street.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but.
That's just, well, I live in a very red area. Really, really bad red area. So anyway, Sam, I will not stop listening to you, and my friends will not stop listening to you. I'm just, as far as everything else, I mean, just tweet to me when you're on Chris Hayes and I'll put it on. But other than that,
okay.
I mean, I saw you with Barbara Boxer, and I was like, whoa, is she fucking crazy? Like, I heard what she said, and I was like, that was totally the wrong message she gave.
Well, thank you, Mindy. I'm glad I appreciate that validation.
Mindy, not fucking around.
What?
I appreciate the validation.
No, really. So just tell me when you're going to be on Chris Hayes when I watch it. Other than that, I'm not.
I will.
I'll
put you on the distribution list. It's my parents and my aunt Carol.
Put me on the distribution.
Are very mad at me because I don't get.
Sam, it makes me happy to see you. You look cute, and I love you, and I love you too, Michael. I love you all. I'm just very depressed. I'm just in a bad place.
There's a lot of folks.
You think we're going to take the house?
I think so. If I had to bet. Somebody keeps calling us. I don't know.
All right, have a good day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
What, Jamie?
Oh, I was just going to say, I really cannot emphasize it enough. Getting out in the real world and doing things will make you feel, you know, both a little bit worse, but also a little bit better, right? Because I spend a lot of time on the IRL left, and I don't know that we're going to be able to transition to socialism in the amount of time that we have before we have an ecological crisis and some sort of social collapse. But at least I want to be able to say that I tried, and I'm trying really fucking hard. But also, I did take some time out to go to some Halloween parties over the weekend, and that was fun too. So it's a balance.
You're talking Mindy's language.
Calling from a 3-0.